Welcome back on the AM show. Just how much do you love literature? Well, for me, I'm in bed with literature, you could say literally. But today I have some stalwarts of the literary arena joining me for a conversation. They're going to be telling you about the Peja Literary Festival, a festival of 3 days running every year. This will be the 8th time, and I have just the people joining me for the conversation. And one of my friends is in the studio. He didn't come with his boxing gloves, but he's here supporting the EU ambassador to Ghana, Irchad Razali. Your Excellency, thank you for joining.
Thanks for the invitation.
Then the main people driving this, Dr. Martin Egblewogbe. He is a director of the festival, and we also have Elizabeth Johnson, who is festival manager. Thank you for joining the conversation as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Martin, I'm going to start with you. Give us just a bit of a background to this 3-day literary festival, readings, presentations, and all of that. Just walk us through what has happened in the past.
Okay, so as you rightly mentioned, this is the 8th edition, and it's always been a 3-day festival, and the whole idea was to bring as many writers, academics, people who are interested in literature, artists. We wanted to bring as many of them together at one location, just so that we could enjoy what they do. We enjoy the books they write. We get to talk to them. And this year is not going to be any different. This year we also have a lot of writers, both Ghanaian from the West African sub-region and from elsewhere. Interestingly, we have a writer from Brazil joining us, and even from Poland.
Which one?
This is Professor Gustavo Brito. Okay. Yeah, he's done some work translating one of a very prominent book in Ghana. That's Ama, a history of the transatlantic slave trade.
I see.
Yes. And so we are having a lot of people coming from Ghana, Nigeria, and also from far afield. And we are going to have the usual 3 days of exciting talks and readings. All sorts of books are going to be there. Yeah, so that's the idea for this year.
Amma, the history of the transatlantic slave trade, is that not a work by Manu Hepstein?
Exactly.
That's a work, okay.
Yeah.
So
and that makes it very special because we have the author here in Ghana, right, and then his translator of a very prominent work is going to be here, and he's going to deliver a talk about the book as well. So right, yeah,
we look forward to when you bring Paulo Coelho as well into the country, the alchemist among others. Yeah. Before I come to you, Elizabeth, let me come to Irchad. Why are you on board the EU as far as Peja is concerned?
As you know, Europe is the continent of culture by excellence, and we believe that culture, whatever the form, especially literature, is one of the best ways to bring people together, to advance their imagination, and to create bonds. And this is the reason why we are supporting this literature festival. But by and large, in all our culture venture here in Ghana, we are supporting, the meetings between Ghanaian writers or authors or other activities with their counterparts elsewhere in Africa and in Europe and to Brazil, etc. So this is a deep, deep belief in the power of culture for the social fabric, for education, for advancing the people.
Well, I'm sure they're hoping, and we're all hoping, that maybe someday some of the stalwarts in Europe, the writers, you will help facilitate bringing some of them down so that we can have them as part of this festival. But
just also to add already, we're, as part of the support from the EU, and we've always been able to invite some writers from Europe.
From Europe to
join. So this year too, there are going to be 2 writers.
Okay. Who are coming?
Well, so there is this Polish writer. His name is Max Sigielski. He is also an artist. And the very interesting thing is that there was a cloth, a kente cloth, a print cloth with a certain design at the time of Nkrumah's reign, and I think it was called Makofo Emu Oman. You know?
Okay.
Yes.
Makofo Emu Oman.
Exactly.
So one person doesn't govern.
Exactly. And so he is going to talk about an exhibition on that cloth.
See.
Yes, and he's also a novelist. So we really appreciate the fact that the EU was able to facilitate his coming to Ghana. And we also have Vamba Sherif joining from Netherlands. He also has written a very important book from Liberia, talking about one of the prominent kings and rulers of Liberia. So, yeah. It's already happening. We look forward to more, of course.
All right. But let me come to the festival manager. Every year it's spectacular. What can we expect this year from the Peja Literary Festival? Mube Peja Peja.
As usual, I mean, we have so many events and so much to offer this year. And the past 7 years have been great, and this year would not be an exception. I can just go through the opening night to show how exciting this will be. So the festival opens on Friday the 18th, and we have workshops that will be running. And these workshops are open to emerging writers or poets or people in the creative scene who are looking for the opportunity to interact and network with more prominent and established voices in the various aspects. So we have these free workshops running from 12 to 4:30 p.m. on Friday. They are free. You have to register for that. And then in the evening, we have a grand opening ceremony. We have a talk with David Dontor and Desmond Abebio. So David Dontor is a veteran actor, and Desmond Abebio is also a veteran high life musician. And so they will be having a conversation on creative arts and practice in Ghana. So that promises to be exciting. Every year we try to put together two prominent Ghanaian literary activists or creatives to have a conversation on whatever fields that they are in. And so this year we are having David Dontor and Desmond Abebio. And then right after that, we have a dramatized reading of a book of fiction. This year, the group Found Space selected Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad. But what they have done is to adapt it to Accra. So what they are doing is Nearly All the Men in Accra Are Mad. So we'll be having dramatized performance of this book. Last year, they did Professor Amata Edu's Changes, and so this year they are traveling to Nigeria to bring us something exciting.
That's Ayobami's book, Adeyemi.
No, I forget the name, but no, it's not Adeyemi. Yeah.
No, I mean the Nigerian one.
The Nigerian one is no, it's not Adeyemi. It's I forget the name of the writer, unfortunately, but it's not Adeyemi. Yeah. And then, as that is going on, we have Professor Toyin Falola from the University of Texas, Houston. He will be giving a talk, a very special talk on festivals, the past of the present. And this talk is very significant because Professor Toyin Falola is a big name when it comes to literature and literary arts and writing in Africa and in America. So this talk is very important to also see. So this gives an idea of the kinds of events we'll be having at the festival. Typically within an hour, we have about 3 to 4 events happening on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Sunday, the same thing. And we also have an amazing kinky party, which we do every Sunday. And so there'll be free kinky for a limited amount of time. That is sponsored by Dapabli Publishers, one of Ghana's forward publishing houses in the past few years. And so from book readings to poetry performances, book launches, film screenings, we have a children's corner so people can bring in their awards, and there's a safe space with specially curated events for children, from puzzles to book readings to film showings for them. And so your awards will be very safe when you come to the festival. Right.
Interesting times. And you were right, that is Damilare Kuku.
Yeah.
With that one. There's another book whose title I'm forgetting, something about a smile. That's the Adeyemi book. But there's something special that the EU is collaborating with Peja to do, a pre-event. Can you tell us a bit about that, Irshad?
Yes, just before the event, we are launching, I would say, a more select rendezvous at my residence to have a panel.
Am I invited?
We will have to reflect. The jury is still out. I see you are really into literature. You might make it.
I might make it. So tell us what's going to happen.
We will organize a panel discussion, and so it will be a nice event which will be pre-launching the formal festival. We did that last year. We did that the year before. And one of the beauty of the event and the festival is that we are bringing together not only the authors, but the thinkers around what literature is and what it brings, and the publishers and the publishing houses, because this is an ecosystem. And beyond the beauty of art, literature is a creative art as well, where there are jobs which are at line, where there is ability as well to create new avenues for growth creation, job creation, and economic links between continents. So I think this is one of the reasons why, as well, we are supporting this Paideia Festival. I would like to say kudos as well to the Writers Project, because they have been instrumental in this. And you know, this is an ecosystem. It's a feast. It's a way to reflect on what we are, where we are as human beings, because this is what literature is, you know.
And you've been supporting
yes,
the arts, the creative arts.
To create a big space of encounters, and we love that.
The creative and literary arts. So we're grateful that you keep up the support. Martin, as we get ready to conclude, what are the key days to look at? I just want you to rehash who is coming. Just give us a briefing of what to expect.
Okay, so the key days to look at are the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday. And on the Friday, we have the opening. It starts at 5:30, but the programming is starting at 6:10. So it's really a short opening ceremony, but then we jump directly into programming. And it's actually open to the public. On Saturday, we start off at 10 with a special publishing confab. We have publishers from the sub-region meeting to discuss the whole industry. As the ambassador has mentioned, it is actually an industry, and the synergies are actually important for us. So we will run on Saturday until 9 o'clock p.m. And then on Sunday, we are back from 11 and we run till 9:30. Now, there is a prize called the Abna Korantima Oral History Prize. I think we've spoken about it on this program before, yes. And so the award-giving ceremony is on Sunday at midday. So those are some of the items to look out for. But because the programs are many, we have more than 60 programs throughout the entire festival. It's ideal to take a look online and see the schedule. But if you turn up at the Goethe-Insititut on Saturday and Sunday in the day, definitely you have a great choice of programs to look out for. May I mention that, for example, we have Nia Ikwe Parks, who is a prominent Ghanaian writer. He is going to be in
Tale of the Bluebird.
Yes, he has a new book called Azuka, you know, and so he's going to be giving us a reading from there, you know. And so I mentioned Vamba Sherif. His book is The Emperor's Son. That's also going to be featured. We also have some local Ghanaian writers. I mentioned, for example, Mo Issa has a new book out. He's going to be presenting it. And then we have a few other writers of notes. We have Kofi Mara. He's presenting his book for the first time. And we also have fantasy fiction.
It's going to be
there's a lot.
A whole lot. It's going to be a true feast.
Indeed.
For lovers of literature. And even if you don't, pass through. We just might make you a convert. Unfortunately, our time is up. We really have to run. I'm going to give you 10 seconds each. Final words, Elizabeth.
I think it's just come to the Goethe-Insititut from 18th to the 20th to experience for yourself the beauty of literature. It's a celebration, and so come, network, get involved and enjoy. We've put together a very amazing program for your enjoyment, for free, I should add.
Thank you. Ircha?
Ghana is a wonderful place for culture, and I think it's a wonderful place as well for encounters beyond Ghana with Africa and Europe. Literature is a wonderful tool to do that.
Thank you very much, ladies, gentlemen, for joining. We shall all be passing through. And we had Irchad Razali, the EU ambassador to Ghana. We also had Elizabeth Johnson, festival manager, Paideia Literary Festival, and of course, Dr. Martin Egblewogbe, who is the festival director, all joining us for this conversation. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more shortly.